The State of the City address for 2020. What we're going to do is we're going to have some introductions, go over some highlights. Basically, what'd you guys do last year? So we're going to cover those. We're just going to cover those points. What's going to be happening in 2020 and a little bit beyond. And then after that, we'll conclude, and everybody's invited to stay and have coffee and pastries and stuff. First, I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for taking some time out. I know everybody's real busy, and thank you for taking some time out from your jobs and your families. I know it's a busy day, and I just wanted to let you know about our stellar city and our achievements and goals. I'd like to introduce my colleagues on the council. Councilmember Daniel Martinez.
Hey, Daniel.
He's representing District 3 and District 1 Councilmember Esmeralda Hurtado. I would also like to thank the city manager and the city staff for their hard work in preparation for today and their tireless dedication year-round. Speaking on behalf of the entire city council, we are honored to serve the city of Sanger as your district representatives and your mayor. This is the third State of the City address that I prepared today. As you know, time really goes by pretty quick, and I was thinking about the first one I did, and I was a little bit nervous. Not that nervous now, but I'm still a little nervous. But anyway, you know what? We've reached out throughout the entire city to try to meet the citizens' needs. Everything from, we need a speed bump here, we need restriping there, all of that stuff that comes to the city council, we try to address it as quick as fashion as we can. Because, there are two primary responsibilities of the city. That's public safety and the civic makeup. And we're proud to present them to you. The upcoming year is going to be epic. With the collaboration with the Sanger Unified School District, the Chamber of Commerce, and the greatest citizens in the state, we're going to help keep Sanger in the upper echelons of Fresno County cities.
Can we clap for that one?
So we're going to be going over, again, major highlights of 2019. Starting off with the public safety, our great police department. I believe that we do have the best police department in Fresno County. I'd like to say even the state of California, but that, it's just me being kind of biased. But anyway, we have a new interim chief, and I think he can attest to the police force that he has kind of inherited as being one of the best that he has had the pleasure to guide. The police department has a successful year in fighting crime and keeping the community safe. The police department continues to have an aggressive anti-gang enforcement stance. The police department promotes prevention and intervention with the GREAT program funded by Measure S. The police department continues to combat drug abuse, drug dealing in the community with the goal of reducing its availability to our youth and those prone to addiction. Part 1 crime was reduced in 2019 from the previous year. There was again a noticeable reduction in gang-related crime and activity. In 2020, the police department staff will continue to fight against gangs, drugs, and crime affecting the city. With a full complement of officers, staff is using new technology to improve efficient and ability to prosecute criminal suspects. And with that said, the police department knows that the city council does stand behind you 100%. We try to get you guys the best equipment, the best training, so that you can be the best police department that we do have in Fresno County. Public safety, these are some stats. Part 1 crimes have decreased by 6%. Total arrests decreased by 5%. And total police activity has decreased 31% in 2019. You can see Part 1 crimes down. Part 1 crimes are the worst of the crimes: murders, sex offenses, robbery, assaults, and those numbers are down. Also, with that said, our response times, have decreased, especially the priority one. Priority one crimes, again, is an immediate threat. And you know what, with that immediate threat, the police department gets out there and you know, stops that crime or you know, tries to solve a crime and they do it in a quick manner. The fire department. The fire department had another record year last year and will be looking at new and exciting things in 2020. The Citizens Oversight Committee and the City Council approved the purchase of a new fire truck, and it was delivered in November. Personnel are currently completing the required training for operating the truck, and equipment is being installed to have its service ready in February. The City Council heard from a consultant that made recommendations to improve fire emergency medical services by considering adding staffing for the ambulance and renovating the current station to meet community demands. The fire department, through retirements and resignations, brought on 5 new firefighters that are eager to serve the community of Sanger for many years to come. This collaboration that we do have with the fire department, and you know, being a close-knit public safety force with the council, you know what, we saw the need. Well, the chief let us know that, hey, we're going to need a ladder truck, and we saw to it that it was needed, not only for today but in the future when we do our expansion on the 180. You know, we're planning on putting a hotel out there, maybe even a couple, and you know, those are like 3 stories. We're going to be about 3 stories tall, and we don't have anything to fight that. Now we do, thanks to the Citizens Oversight Committee and the City Council approving that. The truck, was budgeted about $1.6 million, and again, it's going to enhance the department's readiness for. We have an EMT paramedic pilot program. Now, this program, again, the chief, you know, he's always out there looking at new and innovative ideas on how to get some more. To make sure that we do need more paramedics. So there's this pilot program, and I think that, you know, doing this pilot program will ensure that we have the adequate amount of staff to run the EMT paramedic program for years to come. There's the beautiful ladder truck. I love that thing. These are just some fire stats, false alarms. You know, from 2017, 2018, 2019. You know, they're a little bit, you know, kind of all over the place. But you know, it's just goes to show you that these the fire department is busy, and they need the best equipment to do the job. Some more stats for EMS and rescue calls. Don't go to the Public Works Department. 2019. The Public Works Department had projects that tallied about $5.8 million. Some of the more important ones on there are completion of Veterans Memorial Park. Also started construction of tank number 3 with a completion date of this year, 2020. That's all done with grants, and I can tell you guys that with that grant money we got for that tank, we have a new partner, and they saw how fast and how efficient we did the tank. They want to give us some more money for different projects now. These are some extra Public Works Department, just again, the civic makeup of a city, you know, updating safety striping, and that came about from direct communication with the Wilson Elementary principal. He said he needed some new striping because the ones were faded. So we spent some money and went out to make sure the children had a safe place to walk, with safety striping for them. We also had replace swamp coolers at the community center so that the kids, when they go play, they're a little cooler in the summertime. Because I played there when I was a kid, and I do not remember it being swamp cooler or air conditioner. It was just hot. But we had a good time. We all had a place to go and a safe place to play basketball or even shoot pool. But that's I think is pretty important that those two things, looking out, having a direct communication with the school district to make sure that they're safe. And with that, the Parks and Rec added a new swim program at WAMS with the assistance of donations from the Sanger Mayor Frank School District. There's a couple of pictures of some of the things I was talking about. One is the new water tank. I don't know if you guys have been out there, but if you haven't seen a 750,000 gallon water tank, go look, because that thing is enormous. It's on K and Church, right by the Eagles Hall. There's a picture of it. You can see the Eagles Hall in comparison to that tank. So it's a pretty big tank out there. Again, we talked a little bit about the Veterans Park. The Veterans Park, and there's going to be a Memorial Plaza. We do have a little bit of a mock-up. It's kind of like a half wall with each service flag hanging from there. It's going to be located at the corner of Indianola and Jensen, so that's going to be the first thing that people are going to see when they're coming into the city of Sanger, is this beautiful new memorial wall for our veterans of the city of Sanger. That's kind of what the example of the striping that we've completed. And again, this is all from working with in collaboration with the school district. That's attractive. Well, 12, it's being worked. Capital improvement projects 2019. We had quite a busy year. We, spent about $7.5 million updating the streets in the city of Sanger. The first one, and I'm so glad it's open now, so I don't have to field any of those questions anymore. But Academy Avenue is open, and that was just finished. So I'm very happy to say that. Yes. Yeah, when we first started construction on that, I got a lot of questions too about what's going to happen to Chuck Wagon. And I said, you guys, we are not going to touch Chuck Wagon. We'll all be fired and recalled. So nobody touched Chuck Wagon. It's going to be there for another 80 years or whatever, how long it's been there. The police department, fire department added some more security to their complex with the completion of the security fencing, which was non-existent before. So we just wanted to make sure that our police officers and fire department were kept safe, because there have been times they tell me that there'd be just a dude standing there, it's like, hey, you can't be back here. But so now there's a fence there, and so these guys are going to be a little bit safer when they're coming in at nighttime. There's kind of a map of what we have done. Ceiling projects, Academy Avenue in green, Veterans Park, the police department fencing, and here's what Academy looked like before. And if you could see, it's just grass area, a little grass part by Chuck Wagon. There's no turn lanes. And this is what it looks like now. As you can tell, we added 2 little parks and a couple little, just areas. There's a little bench here, so you can sit down, eat your chili dog or whatever you get. And I really like the addition of the left turn lanes to facilitate the traffic. And there's a little picture of Veterans Park, what it looked like before. And I don't know how long it looked like that, but I think it was for quite a while. And we secured some funding through some grant money, and we were able to do this. So this part up here, this is what I was talking about where the Memorial Plaza is going to go, and looking at putting a wall right there. So, like again, first thing you see when you come into the city of Sanger is going to be this big, beautiful memorial wall for our veterans. And there's that's what the fence looks like. Economic development in 2019. We had issued 70 new residential permits, subdivisions, completed 64 residents. We've got a Burger King is completed, Casa Oinari, that's a Japanese place. If you guys haven't eaten there, you guys go check it out. It's pretty good food. And the new office complex opened on 7th and West. And you know what? A lot of people tell me another fast food restaurant. Come on, can you guys get something else? I'm like, you know what? This fast food restaurant will generate enough sales tax. Maybe we could hire another officer. That's going to go straight to our sales tax and our the money that goes into right directly to Measure S funds, and we can hopefully get some new equipment. I've been wanting a squadron of drones for a while, so maybe we can get that. And that's a Casa Oinari. That's in the Walmart parking lot. And again, if you guys haven't been there, we got to support our local business, or else, guess what? They leave. So let's keep all that in mind. That's our sales tax from 2017, 2018, 2019 has steadily gone up. Our general fund balance is projected slightly lower than 2019, and that's because we have decided to make a payment to our CalPERS. So that's going to lower our obligation over the years significantly. So that and we did an early payment of $750,000. That's going to save us $969,000 in the long run. Good. Doing that payment early. All right, 2020. What's going on here? That water tank should be completed again in April. We might have a little ribbon cutting or something for that. Start construction of Wall 3. Seek funding for Veterans Park. We are currently in pending a grant application, and it's like a $5 million grant application, because not only do we want to finish the memorial part, but we also are looking at adding additional softball field and soccer fields in that same area where the holding pond is. So that's another. It's going to be another big hit, but I think we can do it. It's going to be for the kids, for the citizens of Sanger to get out there and play soccer and softball. We're also looking at upgrading JFK Park and field lighting for Cesar Chavez, and again, these are all things that are going to help out with the citizens of Sanger. Everybody, wants somewhere to go, and by making these parks nicer and well lit, that could be solve a little bit of that problem. So now hey, they have somewhere to go. Again, we're looking at purchasing an artificial Christmas tree. We didn't have a Christmas tree this year, and believe me, I heard that one too. So we were looking around. Okay, what's the alternative? What else can we do? And Public Works came up and they said, hey, maybe we can get an artificial tree. I was like, okay, well, let's look at doing that also. Capital improvement projects in 2020. That's going to be about a little over $7 million worth of work. The main one being the Bethel overlay and widening from Jensen to Annandale. It's Bethel's that street that goes right in front of the Walmart and continues to the school, and that's going to be another welcome relief for people that drive that road, because it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane, and I have driven there a few times, and it's kind of a nightmare. But you know, that's why we're looking at doing all these updates and you know, reconstructions. Greenwood Avenue is another one that's going to be good. It's going to run from Jensen to Canal. Well 16, K Street reconstruction from 5th to 10th. You know, when Academy was closed, I would go down 5th Street to get to the gym that I work out at, and I would take K Street, and it seemed quicker to me, but the road does need to be done, so that's one I'm kind of looking forward to getting finished. And that's where all of this reconstruction is taking place. Now these projects are probably going to be 2021, but we just want to give you guys a real quick, you know, heads up. You know, the first Bethel part is from Jensen to Annandale, and then the second part is going to be, you know, Annandale to north on Bethel. And let's see, N Street reconstruction is going to continue, and these are all 2021 projects. We're looking at N Street reconstruction. I think if Dick Shepherd were here right now, he'd jump up and clap. And that guy's been calling for that for a while. You see, one time he planted seeds inside the cracks so he can try to grow a plant. I was like, that guy. But that's kind of where we're looking at doing. You can see all the construction that's going to be going on. We're not sitting still. We're not taking anything for granted. We want to get out there and do the best job we can for the citizens of Sanger, and you know, keeping the streets good, keeping our citizens safe. You know, that's, you know, our priorities to make sure that this all happens. Economic development in 2020, Jack in the Box is being remodeled. When they said they were going to redo it, I thought it was just going to be some paint. But yeah, no, they tore that thing down to the frame and started all over again. So that should be done here pretty soon. Initiative Foods expects to be fully operational by April 2020, which is awesome for not only Initiative Foods, but for the city of Sanger. And Dutch Brothers is coming. Their site plan review, and will break ground early spring 2020. For all you people that like Dutch Brothers and have kids that like Dutch Brothers, so that's going to be coming. A big one for us is getting the general plan and master plan for North Academy area. They're now public, and adoption for these documents is expected to be done in May of 2020. There's a couple of pictures of the Jack in the Box. That was Initiative Foods, Dutch Brothers. That will be going in. That's our Academy annexation plan. That part in green is new. A lot of people, they thought that was already the city of Sanger. I kind of did, you know, growing up. I thought Sanger went all the way to Shaw, but you know, no, it stops right there at the canal. And so when I became mayor, and we're like, okay, you know, we want to have this annexation to the 180, because the 180 is a viable scenic route now. And it's like, well, we're so close, and I thought, you know, well, let's just get the city limit sign and go take it out there, and this is mine. But, no, it's not like that. So we've been working hard. As I should, you know, the staff and the city manager been working hard to get this make this happen. It's been, you know, almost 3 years now that we started this project, and you know, every day they've been plugging away. So again, thank you guys. This is an art concept of what can go on that 180 annexation land that we have. One of our landowners partner with us, and they have built something like this in Clovis, I believe, And basically it's like housing here and then businesses here, offices, and just so it could be like its own kind of tiny community right there. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing. And that place is called The Row. Well, yeah, it was 30 minutes. I'm almost right on. But hey, real quick, as I pointed out at the beginning of my report, the two primary roles of a city are its public safety and civic makeup. There's a couple other things I want to cover that I do not have slides for. One is we still do have a homeless task force. We're working hand in hand right now with the Fresno-Madera County Continuum of Care. We have, there's some steps that needed to be done to qualify for some money. We've completed both those steps. So now we have to just wait till that money gets released, and it goes to the counties, and then they look at the cities. So I'm working really close with the county supervisors and the Continuum of Care, so we can try to secure some money, so we can try to help out these poor people that fell into homelessness at some point in their life. Another thing is the census is coming up. Census 2020. Make sure that everybody knows to get counted, because that's how a lot of times we get funding. And if we're only counting, 20% of the people, it doesn't help anybody. We need to count 100% of the people to get the maximum funding, even for schools, roads, parks. I mean, everything falls into that. Another thing that falls into that is when we go to Las Vegas for our trade convention, and we're looking at bringing businesses to City of Sanger. Now, if that census is off, they're going to say, well, you guys only have 25,000 people, when in reality we have 35,000. So you know what? It's very important that everybody get counted. So make sure that you guys I'll do, market, but it's real easy to do, and make sure you tell your friends to do that also. Another real quick thing on the 180, because I know a lot of you guys travel on the 180. It's the third phase, I believe, going out to Centerville and Winkler. That shift traffic is happening now, the shift from the traffic. All 4 lanes should be open in late spring, and they should be totally completed by the end of the year. That's one little update that I got when I went to one of my board meetings. Well, I hope after you guys hearing about all the accomplishments in 2019, you guys will be confident that in 2020 we're going to continue to do the same thing. And just knowing that our city is strong, that we as elected officials are committed to protecting your safety and securing a vibrant future for years to come. Thank you.